r/ForeverAlone. Special Object 1498 says 60% of young men are single compared to just 30% of women. I'm not sure if you folks have seen this statistic, but if you haven't yet, a Google search will refresh your mind. My question is, do you guys see this within your social group or acquaintances? Many single young men. If so, and this statistic is correct, I feel a lot more validated in my struggles with dating. What do you guys think? Liz Against the Machine says, as a woman, this just makes me think, that boy am I unlikable mayo. Kind_choice 8590 says, same here. Lol 60% single men, and not one wants to date me. I must be a hideous human. Sensitive Internal 41 says, I've always noticed this, the girls I was around in high school always had something, meanwhile I have friends that are still virgins at 25, with nothing being wrong with them. Discontent_creator says, men are possibly more likely to say they're single or not committed than women. Big Willy 39 says, this was weird for me to think about because at this point, the majority of my friends are engaged or married, so maybe I'm not a young man anymore. In any case, I didn't think the difference was that drastic, but in my experience, guys do have to work harder to get into relationships, while the girls are more secretive and keep relationships under the radar for quite a while. I guess it doesn't really answer your question, but it's just hard to picture such a huge disparity. Maimuna says, if you look at the article, it seems pretty apparent the reason why this huge difference exists is because they categorize young as being age 18 to 29. This means a woman that is 28 dating someone that is 30 would count as not single. Given that the average age gap between relationships is 2 to 3 years, this already sways the stats a huge amount. Women are also more likely to date older men in general, whereas that's not the norm the other way around. No one bats an eye if a 25-year-old woman is dating a 30-year-old man, but it's super uncommon the other way around. Men are more likely to pursue women between the age of 18 to 29 regardless of their own age than women are to pursue men in that age range. The men who are most successfully are going to be the men in the age range of 30, 40s as opposed to younger men. Generally, men are more established, experienced, and secure in their 30s than in their 20s. The age gap is probably the most logical explanation, since this difference is insanely huge assuming a near 50 over 50 general population. Women dating the same group of men is unlikely to be a big factor. In the same article, 41% of single and looking women are looking for committed relationship, while only 25% of single and looking men are. Taking into account the number difference in single men and women, this probably has little effect on the stats. r/ForeverAlone. Infinite_pug says, quietly breaking down. Does anyone else quietly break down in public? Not the usual kind of breaking down, but just you're in a monologue going off the rails. I'm losing my mind in a room, surrounded by people and no one has any idea. I just want to die. Farting blah 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 says, all the time. Public spaces, people make me break down. I hate leaving my house. Infinite F0 at 132 says, yes. I put on a brave face and act friendly and confident, but inside I'm often crying. Florenza Susi says, hearing the lives. Polak Boy says, sometimes when I see couples. r/ForeverAlone. It's _Garbox says, I'm going to the club tomorrow by myself, and I'm going to look so pathetic. I am 23, I'm going to the club this weekend by myself. I asked a friend of mine if he wanted to go, but sadly he will be busy this weekend. I typically stay home unless I have to go to work or church, and I want to go out to the club because I want to get out of the house and do something different. At the club, I will probably try to talk to a few people and just have some girls twerk on me throughout the night. My love language is physical touch, so maybe, if I have some random girls twerk on me for a few seconds, I can feel better about myself. Fleedrum says, every time I've gone to the club I've come out as nothing but a huge loser after wasting my money. Sweepingot says, good luck. I remember my solo clubbing days, it was tough, but can't say I particularly regret doing it. Throwan_2587 says, if you can, go to a club where you like the music. Doesn't matter what happens, I'm having a good time. I don't mind driving 1 to 2 hours for it either. r/ForeverAlone. Autumn Top says, what epitaph will your tombstone, or whatever, have on it? How about, worked alone, quietly died, quickly buried, no one cried? Sna2958 says, my tombstone will be empty, because I'll die alone in my apartment and I'll be buried by local authorities. McKee Saturn says, lol, bro died a virgin. Fleedrum says, huge frick, I'm loser. One Oddball says, come on, join me in my grave. Ginger Train 77 says, you didn't know me. What are you doing here eating the stone? Redrum 1917 says, just dump me in the gutter. Audison says, lol rip. Mazuso says, the thunder echoes itself, it's the phrase of my life. r/ForeverAlone. Redadoritus says, do lunas get insane? Or mad? Not sure how much longer I can stay like this. Work, my room, eat, shit, sleep. Lucimus says, neither, I'm 5 years and a bit into my isolation routine. The first 2 years are the hardest, then it just goes automatic. Dash Mecham says, get even. Quagmire 1912 says, I was insane all along. The mere thought of being loved was insane. Lou_minimum says, depends on how isolated. Isolation as a punishment is considered torture in jails. Dark Soluli says, depressed or hate inside for my experience, mostly depressed. Bobby Mackey 101 says, if you don't control yourself then yes. Some lunas have went to the point where they wanna do something bad to others. I get angry sometimes and start hitting things. And Ablaze6 says, honestly from what I've seen they just lose touch with reality and become stuck in their own space inside of their head. I'm not sure if that's what you'd consider insane. I see a lot of them, develop anxiety disorders, especially social anxiety disorders as a result and sometimes even substance abuse. Genetic makeup plays a role. Solitus1 says, both. r/ForeverAlone. Infinite F0 at 132 says, anyone feel exhausted and beat down by life? I'm exhausted from pretending to be okay and doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I barely have the energy to function. I don't think any amount of love could fix me now. Cheriasa Cold says, yeah. 5 Alive 1985 says, I'm a couple years from 40 and I'm stunned I made it this far. I kinda want to be a truck driver. I see being on the open road as a sort of liberating and exhilarating way to be. And it isn't like I have a wife or kids to hold me back from being out and about all the time. r/ForeverAlone. Noka45 says, girl put her hand on mine. I was in religion class today, doing group work outside the classroom with a female classmate and 2 others. Suddenly, the girl asks me, hey, name, are your hands ever dry? and then puts her hand on mine while I answer her question, and we go on talking about some of our teachers. Went pretty well. It's the small things, sometimes. Luke got banned says. Can't relate. Novel_goal 3140 says. That's more action than I've had in my 29 years of life. Infinite F0 at 132 says. Nice. Reminds of a dream I had years ago. Smooth Forest says. The only time I'd touched a girl's hand is in dance class. They were obligated to. Not by choice. They'd never choose to be near me. I'm disgusting. Resident_setting 3884 says. You have had more free action than I have had in 41 years old. Congratulations for your success. You don't have to rub it in though. Not all of us FARs are as lucky as you though. There is no need to boast about your success. Close bracket. Raptor 556 says. My heart would have pounded out of my chest. That's all for this video. Was it good? I know not, for I'm a robot. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. This video is the product of an automated process.